is what we'll be doing for the remainder of the semester. And this is maybe a little bit harder than what we've done so far. Takes more time than what we've done so far, so keep that in mind. But in any case, here is an example of a proof, and the idea is these lines up here are our premises, and we indicate them by putting PR here. And then this line here is our conclusion. Now you'll notice we have two lines here in between the premises and the conclusion, and so these are the intermediate steps that we need to take to get from the premises to the conclusion. Okay, now when you first start doing proofs, you're in a little bit of a catch-22 because in order to understand how proofs work, you need to understand how we make these intermediate steps, and in particular, what rules we use when we take these steps. On the other hand, in order to learn the rules that we're using to make these steps, it helps to understand kind of how proofs work. But you can't really get both those things all at once. So your best bet is just to read chapter 15, have it printed out, and just plow through it. You may not understand every single thing as you're first reading it, but if you're reading it, underlining, taking notes, etc., and then you watch these videos, do the practice problems, do the assigned problems, then you'll eventually get it. Okay, but that said, in this video, I'm going to go over quickly, you should do the reading to get the full story, but I'm going to go over quickly these five rules, and then I'll do a couple of short proofs. Okay, so these are the first 5 rules that you have. There are more rules, but we'll get into them in a different week. And the idea for these rules is, in each case, what I've written in green are what you would already have in your proof. So the idea is you're doing a proof, and somewhere, let's say on line 3, you have A, or just whatever A stands for. On another line, you have B. Here I have it as the next line, but it doesn't have to be the next line. So if you have what's in green, then you can, on a new line, put what's in red. So if you have A and B on separate lines, then you can, on a new line, put A and B. If you have A and B already on a line, then you can, on a new line, put A. Or you can also put B here. Okay, if you have A on a line, if you have A on a line, then you can, on a new line, put A wedge B, A or B, or it could be the other way around, B or A. Here, if you have both A or B and not A, then you can, on a new line, put B. And then finally, if you have A arrow B, if A then B, and you have A, then on a new line you can put B. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Also, when you do this, you need to explain or state how it is you got whatever you've put on this new line. So if we have A and B on 2 separate lines somewhere in our proof, and we put A and B on a new line, we need to indicate what rule we use to do that. And of course, we're using the conjunction introduction rule, and we cite that by putting ampersand I for and introduction, or conjunction introduction, and the numbers for the lines where the A and the B are. So in this case, 3 and 4. Okay, again, if we have A and B on a line, and then we put A on a new line, we're using the conjunction elimination rule, and so we cite that as ampersand E and the line where the conjunction was, in this case 3. Okay, for disjunction introduction, when we use this rule, we're going to cite it as wedge I, and then put the number for the line where, in this case, the A was. Disjunction elimination, we need to cite, well, first we would put